I said she. So, what we are understanding, seeker progresses by listening, contemplation, and regular practice. I have been saying it again and again. So, you see, this regular listening, learning, and contemplation and reflection. You can say, in short, that is satsang. I think I talked about satsang. Remember? Yes, okay. Now you all remember. I know that. But still, so we will go a little deeper into satsang. What is the result of satsang in our life? Why it is important that we should have a regular habit of listening and learning and knowledge. Otherwise, oh, it's a very important point, your mind strikes and you note it down. And after a few days, you forget where you have kept the notebook. So both are gone. So, no, I remember because I have to teach. So when you start teaching and you are stuck, someone asked a question and you are stuck. No, I will talk to you later. Yeah. You don't understand. I have been attending the class for 2 years. You have not. So that's why you do not know. No. You see that? That is what happens in our life. So we will talk in detail about satsang and how it helps us in knowledge, in dispassion, in removing the delusion, in understanding the individual and the supreme consciousness. And I've been talking, emotional dependence to emotional freedom and how it ends. These are the 6 or 7 questions we have been talking. And then I have been also giving you one verse every time. Satasangatve, Nesasangatvam, Nesasangatve, Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve, Nishtal Tattvam, Nishtal Tattve, Jivan Bhukti. Knowledge. Now, satsang. Satsang means, you can create an acronym. Listening and learning, LL, and contemplation and reflection, LLCR. That is how I used to create an acronym long back. I forgot a lot of those. So satsang results into detachment and dispassion. Dispassion results into removing the delusion. And removing the delusion results into a complete natural focus of the mind. And when you live into that natural focus of the mind, then mindfulness is just play and fun. You do a small act in daily life. Wake up even 15 minutes before you have set an agenda for every day. And let that 15 minutes be devoted to listening, learning, contemplation, and reflection. I have the audio files from my master, and I think I have heard it maybe 500 times. I'll tell you the reason behind it. Wake up even 15 minutes and contemplate and reflect. More gain, even though it is a small act. Do you understand that? It's a very small act, but more gain. Repeat. We will be talking about the mantra that you should be doing maybe 5 or 10 times a day, just for 5 minutes, few minutes, to remind goal of life is a small act. You spend only 2 minutes, but more gain. Small acts of reminding, am I in discernment and dispassion, is more gain than remaining fully busy. Now you all are seekers. Knowing and reminding goal of life is to realize the real self, to be absorbed into a meditative state. Satsang. Satsang, that is what I'm using. Huh? Can you recall? LL or L square? Huh, Sam? L square CR. Contemplation and reflection, listening and learning. That's how Brandy immediately recalled PMP. So, satsang means the knowledge is expressed by the teacher from the knowledge of the East and West. Teacher is only representing the knowledge, representing. Does not claim that, no, I know everything, you don't know anything. How can I say? We all are real self. He represents the tradition. He is absent as a person. Only a seeker can recognize. So when the seeker recognizes, even I tease you a little bit, just to remind you, does not offend you. But sometimes people are offended. You already know we have been doing it for the last 2 years. Many people have come and gone. Teacher knows that he and the seeker are essentially one, with one goal. So when you progress in becoming the higher and a higher seeker, you do realize the same thing. At present it appears, I know little more than you. No. Knowledge is already there inside. But why you claim that I know little more than you? It is because of that ego. Ego is creating a block. And satsang breaks that block. You are listening and learning and listening and learning, contemplating and reflection. And the time comes, your mind says, no, what he says, it is with me. It is my experience. So what is the second benefit you can say? Satsang, it helps seeker to reveal the knowledge hidden within one and hidden in the world of Eastern wisdom. In the words of, in the sentences, in the principles of Eastern wisdom. Why it is hidden? It is hidden due to ignorance. So satsang, I'm passing on these words and the phrases and the principles and acronyms. They are the words. They remove the veil of the mind. So that is why teacher in this Eastern wisdom is given only one work. You study the text, you contemplate and reflect, you see the group or the individual, how to customize and personalize these programs. That is given, that is the only role given to the teacher. When you perform that role exclusively, you are known as a monk. Now, I have a family, I have also honey, if you have honey, so that is second level. So there are many ways. So they do a lot of work in terms of austerity. They check that, am I keeping with myself as a teacher with the discernment and dispassion? Am I still moving with the satsang? Let me pick up the book, let me study, contemplate and reflect. And let us see you all as a group. How can I meet the expectations based on explaining certain principles? Second benefit. Third, satsang is a mind opener. We say it's an eye opener. So I'm using the mind opener. It opens the mind. You listen to it, you understand. Like Anastasia was saying, she understood the emotional dependence and then she find a release. By listening and learning and reflecting on that, you find a kind of release. Oh, this is such a simple thing. So what happens? The world gets the wings. Words takes you goes inside and it becomes a mind opener. I'm not using the word eye opener so that you will remember. It becomes a mind opener. Oh, my mind has opened now, no more. I could feel there is no emotional dependence because it does not exist. It existed in ignorance. That is the beauty of this Eastern wisdom. So satsang, that is another benefit. Now see, if you compare that, what is the difference between the knowledge of the science or the objective reality and the knowledge of the subjective reality? Can you guess? I've already answered many a times, but still, keep in the mind. I know you all know it, but I'm repeating. So, satsang opens the mind to the knowledge of subjective reality. Science opens the mind to the knowledge of objective reality. I've repeated a couple of times. What is the world outside? What is not self? Science will tell you. What is the self? Eastern wisdom tells you. Let it go a little deeper. So there is one condition. The science knows the objective, material world of people, of objects, of things through sense organ and the mind. And the subjective reality is known beyond the senses and mind. But we still use the words and the language. Did you get it? Can you define love? No. Am I in love? Yes. Can you show me love? No. It is internal. It is a subjective experience. You see? So it is beyond the senses and the mind. This is how we have to understand. That is the importance of the satsang. So when I say that I lived with my master for 26 years, it is because of this. Every time, every moment, his every word becomes the satsang. Every problem. And I'll explain you in future a lot of examples he gave to me to solve my material problems also. It gives you an insight. Satsang gets you the insight. Satsang builds a relationship. Satsang builds relations to revealed self. Satsang builds the relations to reveal, if I've structured the sentence correctly. The satsang builds the relations with the mind to reveal the real self. It starts with the words. Same way, study of science, physics, chemistry, mathematics, etc. But here, what happens, the words that indicates the real self. A person is not interested and remain engaged in his or her wrong notion. He or she is not a seeker. Why? Due to ego. No, it's my opinion. I read from the science. Okay, you read from the science, then first contemplate and reflect. What Eastern masters are saying. Master is always saying about the real self. The science will always talk about the objective reality. Both have the similar goal to discover the truth. In the objective world, science. In the subjective world, East and West. I want to know who am I? No, the science says, a lot of people talk to me in other sessions that, that, science has found out that a regular practice of meditation helps to gain the neuroplasticity. Very big term, neuroplasticity, neurogenesis, epigenetics. It means, the neurons are changing. What is my goal? To find who am I? What I am finding? Neuroplasticity. Do you see the difference between the seeker and the non-seeker? No, I will show you, I will prove. Go on proving somewhere else. I should not have taught these things, 2 years ago. It takes time to settle that. So, seeker's mind is totally fixed. Everything is okay. Neuroplasticity is okay. Epigenetics okay. Neurogenesis is okay. You change the gene, okay. But who am I? Am I neuroplasticity? Am I brain? No. Leave it. So some of the teachers in my tradition, they don't find the answer. Why? They are confused. And what is the goal of the satsang? To remove the confusion in the mind. So it all depends on the seeker, how he or she builds the relationship to free the mind from all reservations, to focus on who am I, let me know. Because I am seeking permanent peace and happiness, because you told me real self is of the nature of permanent peace and happiness, I have yet to realize that. And if neuroplasticity or epigenetics can help me to reach there, I will use it. I can use any knowledge. So satsang, what happens? Satsang triggers the mind to search, to keep the focus, naturally focus. And then what happens? The relationship between the teacher, seeker, and the knowledge becomes stronger, finer, and it starts shining. That is the beautiful. One of the most beautiful relationship, if you say it's a relationship of at the consciousness level. Relationship at the physical and physical level. Relationship at the matter, and the matter means the boss and employee relationship. Relationship between matter and matter. Then relationship between emotion and emotion. Emotional attachment and emotional freedom. Relationship between mind and mind. Have you understood the relationship between the mind and mind has created the big organizations, Microsoft, Apple, Tesla organization. It is the mind and mind. Sam's mind, project manager, Stephen's mind, production manager. You see that? Mind and mind. That's one of the most beautiful relationships. Mind and mind. And then comes the relationship between the real self and the real self. That is the highest relationship. Briefly I'm touching, but then I will talk in detail. But you should be able to contemplate. The satsang leads to faith, awakening, discernment, and dispassion. Do you remember what I told you? L square, CR. Listening, learning, contemplation, and reflection. That is what the satsang is. It leads to faith, awakening, discernment, dispassion. So, okay. How do I know? You develop 4 different types of intellect. One intellect takes care of the social, professional, and personal level. Instant responses there. The mind is not going into ignorance. Second level of intellect is known as the dispassion intellect. It takes care of any time the mind, because of the past impression, enters into emotional dependence, you drop it. It drops your attachment and detachment. You are less worried. You are less irritated. You remain calm. Second intellect. I'll talk in detail about these 4 types of intellect. And the third type of intellect means knowledge. Third intellect is a bit challenging. I love my ego. That's why you leave the session. That's why you rejoin the session. So what happens? It's a love intellect. Now you have a love for the existence instead of ego. Ego has certain opinion, behavior, and attitude in our day-to-day life. So that ego is dropped, dissolved, destroyed. You know this teacher is not talking because of his ego. He is talking only of the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom. So I should also keep aside my ego, and that opens the love for the existence. And the fourth intellect removes the ignorance over the real self. These are the four types of intellect. No, but you did not tell us about the process of satsang. Then you see the way the masters answers each and every question. It doesn't leave any form of doubt. Process of satsang, teacher is always ready. If he is not, then he is not a teacher. So one of my friend, I think Jerry will understand, I will not name. So that person is an early riser. So whenever the person used to wake up around 2 a.m., she used to send a text message saying that, "Sir, you are my teacher, you are always ready." Last year, but now she understood. She's already told me so. Many a times, she used to send, "But I'm already in meditation. Why should I respond to you? I throw my phones and computer and everything. I'm in my own business." No, but sir, you are always ready. Now she has understood, relationship between the seeker and teacher, it is only one aspiration for the real self. Now, yes, process, I've been talking about the process of. So when we understand the very process, it means I should be able to point out what changes takes place in the mind, what changes takes place in my personality, what changes takes place in my attitude and behavior. And I believe, you have been changing over these years. But now we can point out. You can create an acronym, Sam or everyone, and pass on to me. I didn't create. So what is the first result you get? Famous. What a good thought. I become famous? No. You do not become influencer outside. Real self become famous in the mind among millions of thoughts. Do you see that? Oh, you wake up in the morning. I am. You're taking a shower. I am. That is the result of satsang. It's very powerful. That's why I have told you many stories, You want to be an influencer? No, I don't want to be an influencer. I'm already an influencer. So Kirti, the word Kirti, I would translate as famous. So I'm giving an expression that the mind constantly returns to the real self again and again because it chooses one. So if I say real self becomes famous in the mind among millions of thoughts, no, I have a pain, Okay, thank you very much. But real self is beyond pain. Your mind reminds you. So then what happens? You move into dispassion. Then what happens? You separate the pain in the body from the real self instantly, within no time. Then it shines, shining of the intellect. Shining the intellect doesn't mean that you become Einstein or Newton. Again, there is a message here. That's what I'm making it clear. What is the second message, second result that you get? The intellect, your intellect shines, that replaces emotional dependence to emotional freedom. Instantly. In social life, in personal life, to yourself. Someone insults you, yes, you feel, but it's a momentary. It doesn't stay for long. You have created a very slippery path for these emotional dependence. They come and they go. A guy spitted on the face of the Buddha, and his cousin Ananda was sitting behind, and Ananda stood up and catch hold of his neck. Buddha said, leave it. He spitted on me. These are the great masters, and I'm just giving an example. Next day he came and he prostrated, he touched the feet. He was in the mode of, please forgive me. So Buddha said, come down and sit. And he asked, whom to forgive? The one who spitted on me yesterday, or the one who is asking forgiveness? Today you did nothing. To whom I should forgive? And that event took place yesterday. You are already changed. That intellect. That is why we study these biography and stories about these great masters. Did you understand? The intellect replaces. That intellect shines. Third quality that our intellect gets or mind gets is the recognition. What is that recognition? Mind recognizes instantly the ignorance and the wisdom. It happens with a movement of an eyelid. The word can change the mind. Coming from the teacher, you have a sense of love and affection that kills our ego. So, in the beginning, the ego is recognized, but now the real self is recognized in the mind. That recognition. So, what did I take? Famous. And the second one? Second one is intellect, the shining of the intellect. Intellect shines. Third is the recognition. And fourth is glories. All the glories of the existence and the real self start manifesting in your personal, professional, social life. What are those glories? Discernment, dispassion, calmness. And that instantly tells you to change your behavior and attitude. And the fifth one is the mind. That mind becomes so soft internally that it always wants to move with an idea, with an intent of helpfulness. Buddha says compassion. It is not let us practice compassion. I'm angry, let me practice compassion. That doesn't work. No. Helpfulness, a kindness, a humility grows in your day-to-day life. You're the highest level of a seeker. Satsang alone is enough. My master used to say, satsang alone is enough. You listen, you learn, instant contemplation, reflection, you find, oh, mind, oh, you brought who is famous. I heard that, sometimes people pay some money to have them, something, Sam knows, might be, you have many followers. So when you have 20,000 or 40,000 followers, then you are an automatic influencer. Then you claim that, okay, I'm an influencer, I'll make you an influencer. So here it is mind realizes at every moment of your life. Do you see the movement of mindfulness or meditative state lives all the time? The highest level of a seeker, by practice, by listening and learning, doing the practice, we reach to that state. And then comes this mind. Say eyes open and you see everything, the real self. That is why I covered the previous topic, name and the form. Sam minus name and the form is real self. Brandy, beyond name and form is real self. David, beyond name and form is real self. Kate, beyond the name and form is real self. I will talk in detail. Again, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Let us start our practice. And make your body steady. Make your body steady. And eyes are closed and the mind is facing within. Mind is facing within, looking within. And you see why now can you make out why I'm been saying that mind is facing within? Famous. You all are wise, so I'm using the words that will make a sense. And then being comfortable. Mind moves all around, gives you that and you're carefree too. I'm not saying anything, you are aware. I have been using the mind is already clear about being comfortable and being carefree. And now is the time. Again, we'll continue with that short, gentle breathing. Let me be very clear. Let us do it for 4 minutes. Short, gentle breathing through both the nostrils, movement of the chest, and movement of the chest continues with the focus inside, natural focus inside the head or the heart. Continue. Continue quick, short, and gentle breathing from both the nostrils into the rib cage, expansion and contraction of the rib cage, and and keep your focus inside. And stop this. We have done 4 minutes. In Tantra, normally we do it for 9 minutes, but we will gradually reach there, and you'll find this mind follows these 4 traits. So it means all the breathing are done for the purification of the mind. And now start breathing little deep, silent and slow. Start with the Nyasa. Half breath is your car, mine is the driver, and the highway is the space inside, and mental singing Om Shanti. Allow the mind to get the emotional freedom by the Om Shanti. So start with the right Right arm first. As you inhale, mind moves from the right shoulder blade to the fingertips inside, singing Om Shanti. You can find the very finer levels of the movement of the mind. Even when you are saying Om Shanti, the mind is still working here and there. But gradually the time comes when the mind is 100% absorbed into the Om Shanti, the highway, means there are no other thoughts in the feeling. A sense of emptiness prevails throughout the practice. Continue, my friends. Now inside the left arm. And now you find it is so easy, casual, natural, but at the same time, the intellect is aware. You have many pointed awareness. That is what I have been using the word. So, one point of awareness is the deep silence, slow breathing. Second point of awareness, the mind is moving with the breath. Third point of awareness is on the highway. Fourth point of awareness, Om Shanti. You see, lot of stuff is going on. And the intellect shines with that knowledge. I believe you're getting it. And inside the right leg now. might be feeling it's an easy way, even mind remains absorbed deeper within. That gives you an understanding, a clue. Oh, yes, it is possible. Gives you a tremendous faith. Now, inside the left leg, now inside the spine, the mind moves with the breath, Om Shanti, to the tailbone, from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Now, triangle inside the heart or the head. Each side represents knowledge, desire, and action. One side. So you move the mind casually, Then look at the center of the triangle, move inside with as if the mind is merging. Everything is stands still, and then Shanti. 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 No, do nothing. Remain as it is. It is a moment to be the knower, neither the doer nor the experiencer. Who knows the experiencer? The knower. Who knows the doer? The knower. mind knows that you are in a state of doing nothing, even if the thoughts pops up in the mind, the intellect is shining. That knowledge, that awareness. Oh, okay. And we are into that state of neither the experiencer nor the doer. Where there is a doer and the experiencer, there is a subtle ego that works. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand. Take your time. Just check how the mind responds. And take your mind to the left palm. Lift your both the hands. Place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences now. How are you, Kate?
Good morning, everybody. Grateful to be here. Thank you for the meditation. Definite moments of freedom.
Beautiful. That's good. That's good. How are you, David and Jerry? Then we'll go to... Rani, you're in a hurry? Okay, that's good. So then we can go ahead. Yes, we did.
Sorry, wrong button. Very, very peaceful. It was a little struggle in the beginning, but after the breathing and the nyasa, I was just in, I couldn't tell you where I was or what it was. It was great. It was very peaceful, very aware.
Very aware. Beautiful.
Very thoughts still.
Beautiful. Very high. So how about you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. It was really light, and then when we came to the triangle, it was dark, and then the lightness started to come back, and I had this vision on the playground of the one that goes around and around, not a Ferris wheel, but you jump on it, and anyways, this vision came into my mind with the knowledge and the desire and the action, and how if everything's based in the knowledge, then it doesn't really matter with the desire and the action.
That's a deeper insight. You see that you have to understand. So when knowledge alone remains. So some people may experience knowledge alone remains. Some people feel a sense of freedom is there. Only the total peace is there. So we'll understand that how these are same thing at a higher level. Beautiful. How are you, Brandy?
I'm great. Thank you for the practice. Today it took a little bit longer for me to get into my meditation, deep in my meditation. I felt like my mind was pretty busy and my body was busy, but I think it was good application of the lesson because I just stayed with it, right? Just kept reflecting and realizing, okay. So
that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. How are you, Sam and Stephen?
I was good. I felt that during the actual lesson, I was being pulled into meditation. I've had moments to which I definitely did not hear a lot of the stuff you said. So again, that would require me going back and listening to it. But my meditation was extremely deep, very, very quiet. There were no thoughts, and my entire, I was completely separated from my body and my mind. I mean, I was just in a space. So
that's definitely a deeper state. Very good. Wonderful. How are you, Sam?
I'm doing really well. During the meditation, I felt after we did the pranayama breathing, a very strong gravitation from my heart during the nyasa. And then when we got to the triangle, I felt a very blissful release. And I stayed in a very peaceful place during that period of time.
Beautiful. That should happen. Beautiful. How are you, Ashok? How many satsang you have attended with my master?
So many.
So many.
Numerous.
How much money you have in your bank? So many? Okay, now go ahead. How is your experience?
Meditation was good and nice and very peaceful.
Nice. Continue attending. I just pointed out that number of sessions I remember. How many thousands of sessions I have attended. Why? What mind desires, it will always remember. What mind desires, it will always remember. And I'll tell you one of the most wonderful thing. How the crazy mind works and how the result comes. How are you, Vaibhav? Oh, we will have two more, yes. Then we'll go to anesthesia.
Sir, it was very quiet, peaceful. It's like it's given me an acceptance to the self that even no matter how mind is working, I'm still not separate from that.
Okay. It will happen. It is going to happen. The way we continue to learn and practice. How are you, anesthesia?
Thank you. I'm good. It was deep, quiet, peaceful, and that's all.
That's good. Let me just tell you. Jerry knows, Casey. Sam doesn't know. So we have only one more student in the yoga teachers training, youth yoga teachers training. And she's only 12 years old. Why I'm saying you, and then you have to look from a greater perspective. So she receives all the audio files, Casey, and she sent one of the Saturday file to this 12-year-old girl. That this is from the teacher, you listen to it, you understand, you do the practice, and then you reflect on it, and then write a summary and send to it. I'm sending a summary in your email with the audio files. But this 12-year-old girl, I want to talk to two things. You can start the Eastern wisdom from anywhere. Any principle will do. But when we start a regular session, so obviously teacher personalizes things and then he says, no, let me bring this principle to it. But the mind says, no, you have not attended the previous session, so you will not get the result. No. No, that doesn't apply here. If you are a seeker of the highest order and you have attended the session after 2 years, you can reach to that same state. So when Casey told me that she sent a Saturday file to a 12-year-old girl, I said, my mind told me that what crazy stuff she did. Oh, mind picks up. It's a very higher level of understanding. But the knowledge has no boundary. And especially this knowledge. To do PhD, to do something in science, in physics, chemistry, you have to do the bachelor's, master's, and research, and then you reach there. This knowledge of the Eastern wisdom has no boundaries. One can change the direction of their life at any given moment. She has written a summary. I'm just reading only a few. Understanding this removes ignorance from the way we think. 12-year-old girl. It's not my contribution, it's her. We must recognize the consciousness behind every thought and experience. I did not talk in this way on Saturday's session. I talked differently. Her reflection. We must recognize the consciousness behind every thought and experience, behind the 3 states. So she's talking about waking, sleeping, and dreaming. Perception, knowledge, and experience are all different things. There she little bit lacked. Simply recognizing that there is a surge of pressure in the mind is a step to enlightenment. I'm not going there. You can read it. I have just copied and pasted. So even the mind of those masters also gets crazy. This mind means delusion. So I started thinking, why the heck, she sent this file there? Why she asked to write the summary? See the result. Not because of the teacher, because of the knowledge. You will enjoy reading the entire summary. That is all for today. Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.